is News 3 Now at 6.
We start tonight with an update to strong thunderstorms that are causing flooding concerns in our area. On Madison's west side, water overflowing the roads in the area of Excelsior Drive and Old Sauk Road, and Greenway Boulevard in Middleton was temporarily closed due to water on the road. Our crews came across a downed tree on Muirfield Road and cars stalled in floodwaters on North High Point Road, north of Old Sauk Road.
Some flooding issues downtown as well. Officers responding to flash flooding at the North Blair and East Dayton Street intersection near James Madison Park. The Madison PD posting these photos on social media, reminding people to avoid driving into those floodwaters. And we are continuing to monitor flooding issues tonight.
Let's go to your first warn forecast for an update on when these storms are expected to clear from our area. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti has the latest. Gary?
For the most part, they already have done so. They're heading into the Milwaukee area. There still might be a few showers or an isolated thunderstorm left around, but right now we have a flood warning in effect for much of Dane County until 7:15 for the ongoing flooding issues. Flash flood warning continues until 6:45 for the eastern portion of Rock County. 6-hour precipitation estimates show 2 to 3 inches of rain over the Madison metro area into the Middleton area. Northeastern portions of Greene County, southeast of New Glarus may have seen over 3 inches of rain. Heaviest amounts appear to be just east of Janesville, where some localized 4-inch amounts were possible. But you can see all the thunderstorm activity now moving pretty much out of Dane County and much of Rock County. So Jefferson and Dodge County still getting some rain, but west of there, most of the rain has ended, and there's not a lot upstream. So the chances for rain will continue to go down overnight. If a storm does pop up, it could produce some brief heavy downpours as well as gusty winds. Temperatures right now, lower 70s here in Madison. Southwestern Wisconsin, that hasn't seen much in the way of thunderstorm activity. Temperatures there are in the 80s, but the dew point temperatures are in the upper 60s to the lower 70s. That means the air is just loaded with moisture. Any thunderstorm could produce heavy rain. Look for the chances for rain to go down overnight. Low temperatures dropping only in the lower 70s. Tomorrow will be a partly sunny, very warm and humid day with a chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon. High temperature at 88. Not only will the rain chances go down, but the temperatures will go up as we head toward the 4th of July weekend. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. The Madison Metropolitan School District will no longer have school resource officers in the city's 4 high schools after a unanimous board vote this afternoon. Maddie O'Neill tells us how the board came to this decision and where they go from here. Maddie?
Well, we've heard calls to remove police from schools from Freedom Inc. activists for years now. And now board members say the recent protests have really highlighted the need for immediate change. In a special session tonight, education board members all voted to end the contract effective immediately, which will remove 4 school resource officers from the city's 4 high schools. Many board members highlighted the disproportionate negative impacts on Black and brown students. Board President Gloria Reyes, who has supported SROs and thanked them for their work tonight as a former police officer herself, says there comes a time when a leader must change direction to listen to what she calls the will of the people.
And now is the time for all institutions to take a hard look at what they do and how they do it and how they feed into the racist practices within their own institutions in our community. Since George Floyd's murder and the continued demands to remove school resource officers, I've had to put aside my own personal and professional views about police in schools to reflect on the many voices that have advocated for change.
Interim Madison Police Chief Vic Wall says in a statement tonight that the 4 school resource officers have played a progressive, instrumental role in maintaining a safe learning environment, and that it's, quote, disappointing that the program appears to be ending without recognition of the real work that the SROs have done or understanding of the consequences that will follow their removal from schools. Board members spoke about how to plan for security alternatives in the new year, including setting up a security and safety committee. They'll also be discussing virtual learning during their scheduled meeting happening tonight. We'll have more details tonight at 10.
All right, Maddie, thank you. And developing tonight, a Minnesota judge is warning that he is likely to move the trials of 4 ex-police officers charged in the death of George Floyd out of the Twin Cities if public officials and attorneys continue speaking publicly about the case. Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill asked the prosecutor during a pretrial hearing today to use his influence to get public officials to stop talking about the case. If they don't, he says he will have to move the trial or trials, depending on whether the officers are tried together or separately.
To our coronavirus headlines now. A new DHS metric shows about 30% of Wisconsin counties are experiencing a high level of COVID-19 activity. That dashboard shows 10 southern counties and 12 central counties are experiencing high activity levels. The metric was created after several counties, including Dane County, saw large spikes in the number of new confirmed cases. Today in Dane County, there were 84 new cases confirmed. Across Wisconsin, more than 400 new cases were confirmed today, making for a total of more than 28,000. There are more than 5,000 active cases statewide. 5.3% of new tests came back positive today, down from a spike at 7% yesterday. Over the past 2 weeks, health officials say the percent of new positive tests have been on an upward trend. With more than 500 new COVID-19 cases in Dane County over the last week, health experts are concerned about this trend. People are experiencing long waiting lines at the COVID-19 testing site at the Alliant Energy Center. UW health experts say the increased number of cases in Dane County cannot be explained solely by an increase in testing. As the summer continues and the 4th of July holiday approaches, health experts are urging people to stay 6 feet from others who don't live in the same household and to wear masks.
We know that people who have COVID-19 are going to be spreading the disease for 3 to 4 days before they have any symptoms. That means that people who otherwise feel well need to wear a mask because you don't know if you're the person who has COVID and is giving it to other people.
According to Public Health Madison and Dane County, half of the recent surge in cases come from young people from 20 to 29 years old. A reminder that an amendment to the Forward Dane Phase 2 guidelines limits private gatherings to 10 or fewer people.
Other states seeing spikes are putting some restrictions back in place, but as Amy Reed reports, Wisconsin may not follow. Amy?
One of the Republicans behind the Safer at Home lawsuit said in a statement to me today that he does not support shutting down businesses again or mandating wearing masks like we've seen in other states. The Senate Majority Leader said, quote, "It's clear from the actions of Milwaukee and Madison that the responses will be regional. Bars and restaurants should follow the safe practices put forward by the WEDC to ensure that they can maintain proper social distancing." Last week, Dane County modified its order to better respond to the common threads the health department is seeing in contact tracing interviews. The change followed a 5-day spike with nearly 400 new cases, but statewide case numbers have been on an upward trajectory since mid-June. A state Supreme Court ruling blocked an order from DHS that continued Safer at Home, and we are no longer in the declared public health emergency that the governor started in March that allowed for the original order. So it's unclear what, if any, orders they could put into place right now. We reached out to the governor's office to see if his administration is planning anything. They did not respond to our questions. The Speaker of the Assembly told us that he's watching hospitalization rates and he encourages people to continue following CDC guidelines.
Amy Reed, live at the Capitol tonight. Amy, thank you. The Mount Horeb Family Aquatic Center is closed indefinitely because a lifeguard tested positive for COVID-19. Officials say the lifeguard was last at work on Wednesday and Friday. After the first test taken came back negative, a second test was taken Thursday and got a positive result on Saturday. According to a Facebook post by the Aquatic Center, the results of a third test were expected today.
A tragic end to the search for 9-year-old Madison Billups, who went missing in the Rock River on Thursday night. Her body was found around 11 o'clock this morning, about 5,000 feet downstream from where she was swept underwater. Crews have been searching for her since then, using divers, canines, and drones. They even tried to slow down the current, but were unsuccessful this weekend. Family members and people who didn't even know Madison came out to walk the river and try to help find her.
The community coming out to support. The family has been so supportive and helpful in this really difficult, tragic time for them, and our hearts really go out for them, and hopefully now we can begin that healing process.
Sheriff Knudsen says even he, who's been around the river his whole life, is still surprised by how strong the current can be. It made their search more difficult. He's urging people to be careful, saying even if it looks smooth on the water's surface, it can be powerful underwater. A 37-year-old man is in critical condition after he allegedly broke into his family home in Sauk County and started shooting. This happened just before 4 o'clock in the morning at a home in the village of North Freedom. According to the sheriff's office, the son started shooting windows out to gain entry to the home. As he was loading his gun, one of the parents armed themselves and shot back at him, striking him several times. The suspect was taken to UW Hospital by MedFlight.
The Janesville Police Department is releasing the findings of an internal review of an officer-involved shooting that happened back in March.
Sir, drop the knife, please. I want to help you. Please.
Now, this is body camera footage from that incident after an Oklahoma man drove his trailer off I-3990 near Highway 14. He got out of the vehicle, had a knife to his neck. The investigation revealed the officers asked him to drop that knife 31 times, stop 11 times, and sit down 9 times before he was shot. They also tried less lethal options, but they were not effective. The officer was cleared of any wrongdoing by the district attorney back in April. The man survived.
Next at 6, a realtor in Madison is hoping to start a conversation about the lack of housing opportunities for people of color. Last week, we reported that Madison's housing prices have gone up for the 7th year in a row, which this realtor says is making it more difficult for minorities here to ever be homeowners. Jamie Perez has more on why this is happening. Jamie?
Right, well, we have this concept of the American dream, and he says that it's mostly white people that even have access to that dream. And for the 7th year in a row, Madison housing prices have gone up, which he says hasn't been a huge issue for the white people he sells to because many of them have the benefit of generational wealth. But he said it's minorities who are continuously being priced out of homes on the market. He said out of all the homes that he sold in the past 14 years, only 3% have been to people of color.
To try just and learn more about, why this is happening, right? Like why people of color don't have access to housing, and come up with an idea or a plan that will help these people get into a home.
Alvarado said being a person of color himself, he does try to help minorities get into homes as often as he can, and says that if we had more people of color in the real estate industry, that could also help with the solution as well. And he says it's important for realtors to learn about the history of redlining here in Madison, try to help more people of color have access to the same American dream that many white people have had access to for years.
Jamie, thank you. Next at 6, a woman who organized a show of support for Pride Month now says she's scared for the young people in her community. We'll explain why police are investigating next.
At Papa Murphy's, we need seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Social distancing and family quarantines are a jarring reality for kids. It's a big adjustment. So it's important that we adults do what we can to help them navigate this new normal. Encourage your kids to ask questions and give them honest, age-appropriate answers. Show them things that they can do to regain some control. And above all, reassure them that their safety is your top priority.
Now more than ever, SSM Health and News 3 Now encourage you to take time for kids.
Kindness makes a world of difference at the Century House. Donate $50 or more to the Second Harvest Food Bank of Southern Wisconsin and save more than ever before on stressless seating. Save at least $300 on stressless recliners and office chairs. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. There's never been a better time to help others and fill your home with the unmatched comfort of stressless seating. Be kind and save generously at the Century House.
This pen will write for a mile. It can change lives too. Just ask Jeff. He'll tell you what he makes at IBVI makes a difference. See how a career at IBVI changed Jeff's life. And see how it can change your life too at IBVIcan.org.
Summer is here. It's time to grab the family and hit the open road. To make sure your trip is safe, Meineke is now offering free brake pads. Call your Madison area Meineke for details. Meineke Car Care Center is here to help.
The Evansville Police Department is investigating an incident where a pride sign was stolen from someone's yard and lit on fire.
It was filmed on Snapchat, and now that video is circulating Facebook. Gabriela Becerra joins us live to explain what happened. Gabby?
Over 50 Evansville Pride signs were purchased this June for Pride Month. The one who organized it says one was stolen, destroyed, and then posted to social media.
Well, I was in tears because pretty much I feel pretty safe in my community, and I have a lot of support from this community. But it made me very scared for our youth.
Denise Pace says this video of someone burning an Evansville Pride sign was sent to a youth LGBTQ member of the community.
That person was terrified. Like they received it, and they identify as LGBTQ+.
Pace says after that person shared the video in her Facebook group for Evansville Pride, she immediately took action.
I reached out to everyone that bought a sign for me because I kept a list, asking if theirs had been stolen or if they gave theirs to someone else. And right away, a gentleman said that he and his wife's sign had been stolen, along with his Biden sign.
Pace says she reported the incident to the Rock County Sheriff's Office, and it's now being looked into by Evansville Police, according to officials.
They're hearing those hateful things or seeing those things on their social media. It just broke my heart, and I just wanted to be all of their moms.
And Pace wants people to understand that there's no room for hate in her community.
I want them to see that and to hear us and to know that we're here and we're not gonna let that kind of behavior continue to happen.
Evansville Police Chief Patrick Reese says it is to be determined if this will be investigated as a hate crime. Pace says that many people have since reached out to her to either donate or buy signs from their group.
Gabby, thank you.
Coming up in sports, Jonathan Taylor with a big shout out from the Big Ten Network. Sports director Zach Hanley will be in to explain that one. And severe weather causing some flooding concerns today. Gary will check in to tell us when the storms will clear out. That's next in your First Warn forecast.
Happy 4th of July Super Sale, happening this week at the Brothers Maine. Come in now for more savings on more brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. We make upgrading your home more convenient at Maine with up to 18 months of 0% financing and expert-free delivery. Get more at the 4th of July Super Sale. More selection, more savings, and more satisfaction. And happy birthday, USA, from the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Attic Angel Community has earned a reputation as the one and only. But what's so memorable to the people who live here?
It's good local heart. Interesting friends.
The view from my window.
Continuing education.
The food.
The amazing art studio.
Happy hour.
There are many reasons to love Attic Angel Community, but there's just one Attic Angel.
Feldco season is here, and the signs are all around us. Like free installation on all windows, siding, and doors, and no interest for 1 year. It's time to jump on that home renovation project and free installation all from the comfort of home. That gives you time to make the most of your Feldco season.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Where can you get top designer and name brand shoes at 60% off? DSW at Hy-Vee. We've slashed prices even more. All shoes were 50% off, but now are 60% off. That's right. All DSW shoes at Hy-Vee are now 60% off. Get 60% off all women's shoes, 60% off all men's shoes, and 60% off all kids' shoes. Check out DSW at Hy-Vee and get 60% off all shoes.
You may not know them. The coffee shop owner who knows your order. The couple who saves your seats. The family down the street who greets you with a smile. They've been there for you. Now you can be there for them. Donate today and help our friends and neighbors keep their power on.
Well, the storms are winding down, but we still have the potential for some flooding issues. A flood warning remains in effect until 7:15 for much of central and western Dane County from the flooding that was occurring earlier. The stream levels are probably going to be high. The street flooding starting to diminish a little bit. Flash flood warning also in effect until 6:45 for the eastern half of Rock County. Precipitation over the last 6 hours, you can see areas east of Janesville in the 3 to 4 inch range into parts of northern Illinois. Meantime, some 2 to 3 or 4 inch amounts in parts of northern Rock County into northeastern Greene County around New Glarus, and then some 1 to 3 inch amounts over the west side of Madison into southwestern Dane County and the city of Madison. But you can see now all the heavier showers and thunderstorms lifting eastward from Milwaukee. Still some rain over parts of Jefferson and Dodge County, but even that will be winding down to the west. The thunderstorms that tried to develop this afternoon just kind of fizzled apart. And notice there's no precipitation to the south and west. Can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm popping up, and with all the humidity around, it would bring heavy rain and even the potential for some gusty winds, according to the Storm Prediction Center. But at this point, I think the rain chances are going down pretty dramatically. Over the next few days, we could be looking at anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch of rain over parts of southern Wisconsin. Other areas may pick up very little. It's hard to pinpoint those areas because it all depends on where the heavier thunderstorms occur. But you can see some of the rainfall amounts that show up farther to the west where rain is more likely could be in the 3 to 4 inch range over parts of western Iowa. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. High temperatures, upper 80s for tomorrow through Thursday. Humidity levels get very high and don't really diminish after that. And that leads to dry weather at the end of the week with hot and humid conditions for not only Friday, but for the 4th of July weekend and into the first part of the following week. We have alert days in the forecast for the 4th of July weekend. People who are planning outdoor activities, you have to take into account the heat. High temperatures will be in the lower 90s. Heat index values will be around 100 degrees, and we're not looking for any thunderstorms that would break the heat. So it's one of those things you might want to reconsider your plans or do your picnicking early in the day before it just gets too hot. Temperatures right now in the 80s across much of Wisconsin, 70s where the rain has occurred. Farther out to the west, those temperatures in the mid to upper 80s through Iowa. And on Weather Track, you can see how these thunderstorms developed on the northern edge of this hot and humid air dome that's developing over the central part of the country. When it gets that hot, it warms up in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and that actually keeps a lid on things to keep thunderstorms from occurring. And unfortunately, that's the kind of weather pattern we're getting into for the end of the week. So for tomorrow, a high of 88, very warm and humid. Can't rule out a chance for a shower or thunderstorm, mainly in the afternoon, but I think much of the day will be dry. On Future Track, you can see the thunderstorm chances going down for tonight. Low temperatures only in the lower 70s. Highs tomorrow, upper 80s. Perhaps a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon into tomorrow evening. Then quiet overnight with low temperatures right around 70, and more of the same for Wednesday. Maybe a pop-up shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. Rainfall amounts spotty. Some areas may pick up an inch or two. Other areas nothing at all. And as we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, again the alert days for the holiday weekend, but the heat really starts on Friday and lasts at least until the middle part of next week.
And coming up in sports, a big-time honor for Chris Borland, while the former Badger is getting some high praise from the Big Ten Network. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Welcome, Pump 15. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
I have a question for you. Were you wearing your seatbelt today?
Yes, I was.
Do you always wear your seatbelt?
I do, thank you.
Do you need any help out there?
Do you want to help me? Am I in trouble?
No, you're not in trouble. I just want to say thank you. We really appreciate that you wear your seatbelt every single day.
Click it
or ticket.
This summer, get back to where you belong, along 60 miles of beautiful wide open beaches, where family vacations have never been so much fun. With every sunrise and each high tide, the beach is calling you to raise your spirits, make you smile, and bring your family closer together. So stop dreaming and start booking, because we can't wait for you to get here. Visit Myrtle Beach and discover why happiness comes in waves.
From a checkup to an emergency visit, SSM Health is ready to provide the high-quality care you've come to expect. And all our facilities are prepared to keep patients safe, in person or online. We're here. Schedule a visit today.
Flash sale, you know what this means.
Flash?
Sale. Flash sale?
Flash sale.
So you're telling me
yes
that everything is on
sale.
Chair?
Yes.
Bed?
Flash.
Reclining sofa?
Sale.
Dining room table?
Flash sale.
Let's go!
Oh yeah!
It's Steinhoffel's 4th of July flash sale. We've taken deep discounts priced to sell out, like this dining set, $3.99. Buy a Lazy Boy and get one free. Or your choice American-made solid wood queen bed, $5.99. Shop Steinhoffel's 4th of July flash sale.
Save big money on your next project with 11% off everything now at Menards. Turtle Wax Hybrid Ceramic Spray is the fastest way to an amazing shine. Just wash your car, spray it on, and wipe dry. Get durable protection and superior shine. Get 11% off. Clean up with this 6-gallon wet dry vac from Shop Vac. It can tackle tough jobs with 3 peak horsepower. All Shop Vac products are 11% off. Stop waiting and start saving with 11% off everything now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, folks. Tuesday morning. Chris Reese is in for Hattie, and he says it's going to feel like the mid-90s again. He'll have the latest on this hot stretch.
And we'll tell you what's next after Madison's school board makes a decision on officers in high schools.
See you at 4:30.
In the last 10 years, can you name a running back that's done more on the football field than Jonathan Taylor? The Big Ten Network couldn't, which is why they named him to their all-decade first team. In 3 years at Wisconsin, Taylor rushed for 6,174 yards. Second in all Big Ten history, behind only Ron Dane himself. JT was a 3-time All-Big Ten first-teamer, a 2-time Doak Walker Award winner, and a 2-time consensus first-team All-American. On the defensive side of the ball, former Badger Chris Borland was named to the Big Ten Network's all-decade trio of linebackers. While at Wisconsin, Borland was a tackling machine, racking up 420 career tackles and forcing a conference record 15 fumbles. He was a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten linebacker and named the conference's Defensive Player of the Year and Linebacker of the Year as a senior. Iowa's Josie Jewell and Michigan's Devin Bush joined Borland as the Big Ten's best linebackers of the decade. Craig Counsell announced his 45-man roster for the Brewers' 3-week summer camp at Miller Park, and the Milwaukee manager is in some uncharted waters this season. Not only does Counsell have to shrink that roster down to 30 by opening day, he has to figure out how the team is going to hold its spring training 2.0 and everything else that's going on with the new 60 games and 66 days season. But Counsell wouldn't have it any other way.
We're all excited to get back to work, and from my perspective, this has been really enjoyable, like planning something new. So, like for us being in Miller Park, it's new, and it's been a lot of fun trying to put the pieces together of this. It does feel like there's more unknown this year, and that feels right now that's exciting, and it feels like it's going to make it a really maybe crazy trip, but a fun trip.
Saturday's the big day. That's when they start working out.
Here we go, ready or not. Yeah. Zach, thank you. And here's Gary with the final check.
Flood warning remains in effect for Dane County until 7:15. Flash flood warning Eastern Rock County until 6:45.
Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.